Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Scourge League 3.16. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you my swap to Carrion Golems, why I swapped to Carrion Golems, what to anoint for cheap on your Amulet, why I swapped back to two Carnage Chieftains and one Demon Harpy, what the swap is for that, how to swap the build over to the Golems, changes to the build overall, the cluster, changes to the pathing on the skill tree because it looks like this now, what do you need to swap to golems, how do you make your build like mine, and how do you be as cool as this. Yep. Woo! Let's go! Oh my fucking god! I'm so lucky! I'm so lucky! Woo! Let's go! Yeah! That's how we do it in this fucking channel! Let's go! Using a tainted chrome on my body armor to get impale in the build. Boom. 1 green, please. 3 blue. I mean 3 red, not 4. Almost there. 2 green. That's 3 blue. That's it. That was pretty good. Nice. Now we don't have to run Ruthless. Alright, so I decided to swap over to Carrion Golems from Skeletons. Why did I decide to do it? I was at this point tired of summoning the Skeletons. Playing like 10, 11, 12 hours a day, right, of summoning skeletons. So I want to now switch over to the Carrion Golem. So what happened was I got my cold iron points, 110 C or something per 130, I don't know, 1.5x per 3x for both. And then I also got the Golem Jewels. So I have the 2 Primordial Harmonies, Anima Stone, and the Primordial Might. I got the Anima Stone from doing Atzirian's reward div card, and I got increased mana reservation efficiency of skills, which is actually the reduced mana reserve from last season, but it's nerfed. Yeah, you know the change. Holy shit, I hit the best Anima Stone corruption on the Atzirian's reward because it gives you a corrupted Anima Stone. So yeah, basically what I would recommend if you were wondering what would you need to swap over from Skeletons to Carrion Golem for it to feel like a big upgrade is the Golem Jewels that I recommended. 2 Harmonies, 1 Primordial Might, 1 Anima Stone, and then 2 Cold Iron Points. And now I made a lot of changes because of going over to the Carrion Golems, but basically Carrion Golems are absolutely sick. I'm going to start it off with a quick show of what they look like in a map, not the Blight one, what they look like in a map, just running through, just to show you compared to the Skeletons. And I'll also update you on the Spectres, I'll also update you on the skill tree, I'll also update you on the cluster, I'll update you on the pathing on the tree, the jewels on the tree, I'll update you on the Amulet Anoint. I changed an Amulet Anoint. I have so many things, but basically to start it off, we have phase run. We run through. This is a tier 14, and they clear everything. It's absolutely insane. We can phase. We keep running. It feels really good that way. We just have phasing, and we could automate our flasks soon with those orbs. But we just have Carrion Golems killing everything, and it's really sick, and we don't have to summon the Skeletons anymore, so it's really smooth and enjoyable, and our experience of 11 to 12 hours of gameplay a day will now be more viable, right? It won't be so exhausting, so now that it'll actually be a joy instead of a chore, yeah. So we're past the league start, we're into our mid-game, transitioning into endgame, and Carrion Golems are looking really strong in Scourge. The main reason I chose Carrion Golems out of the options that we had, stone, carrion, zombies, all these options, the reason is we have Scourge, and Scourge creates walls and barriers and weird terrain in the map, just added extra bonus terrain that wasn't there before, and I find that the Carrion Golem jumping is really effective for Scourge. The mobility is not to be trifled with, basically. I find that I think stone golems and zombies would have trouble with it, whereas the Carrion Golems do not. Now the next thing, I wanted to go Impale on the Carrion Golem, so I went Impale with Dreadbanner, and to do this, you have to get a Rotting Claws to get the 100% chance to Impale, because you'll only be at 90 something with Impale support and Dreadbanner, and basically these two together is like, it's like having 90% accuracy. You really want 100, trust me. You're missing that little bit, it's bad. It's actually worse than that. Yeah, you really want 100 Impale, but that's why I did Impale for Carrion Golems, yeah. I realized also there were some decent anoints you could do early. So for example, allocating agility was only 2 sepia and a clear oil, and this is a saved skill point on my skill tree, which is pretty nice. Also, because Ravenous Horde is so expensive, I'll show you this pathing in a second, like explain how I did this. It's once you go golems, I noticed this pathing. Yesterday I was talking about, I'm like, wait, what the heck? But also you could you could anoint a Righteous Decree, then it's 2 points, and this is really good if you're having trouble with mana and the mana reserve for the auras and using the extra trigger and all this extra stuff. This increases the mana and reduces the cost of the skills. This took me from 130 mana to 180. It's huge. Like extra unreserved, and then also reducing the cost of the mana of the skills. You could also anoint Tireless. This is a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of a combination if you look at it. It's life and reduced costs, so you could get the Opalescent oils and do this, but it's more expensive. There's a lot of really decent cheap anoints, but most of our minion stuff is extremely expensive. Like Enduring Bond has a gold oil. Ravenous Horde has a gold oil. Death Attunement. Death Attunement's not a gold oil because they nerfed it. Cool. But yeah, that's so now this pathing, because I went golems and golem commander and the pathing from the top because it's better than pathing through the middle. I then realized pathing across this middle bridge, literally just to get from here to here, instead of doing this. So literally I could connect this two and delete this entire middle. So this, and now we connect it to our outer, and we have all the stuff we want, and we're only 4 away from Ravenous Horde instead of 6. And so then Ravenous Horde looks good, which actually, it was only 5 when we had this Golem Commander, which I never even noticed because I haven't had enough time with the new page yet and all my builds. But yeah, golems are actually only 5 away from the Ravenous Horde compared to the other builds, which are 6 because of where the Golem Commander is, which is because you're spending the 1 more point for Golem Commander anyways. Wow. Yeah, but then now that Indom Army's up here and where the Ravenous Horde is, it actually, and then the pathing up, this is so cool because if you path through, it's actually 3 points, so this is quicker. This is so crazy. And then I figured out that this is actually less damage than like a normal node, and I was messing with the attack speed, and I messed around with Enduring Bond because of the skull effect duration. I found it nice for the phase run, but I'm going to try not to use it. I'm going to try to level up the increased duration and get quality on it and maybe try something else. Maybe not even go for the perma phase run, just use it for the temporary move speed and use the Quartz Flask for the phasing. But yeah. So that basically huge things. You could allocate cheap shit if you don't have an anoint at all. There is really cheap stuff that you could probably do that would save you at least 1 point, which is impactful for your build. This pathing is really cool, and Carrion Golems are really sick. And the one large cluster, I went for item level 75. Wait, when you do Rotting Claws Renewal, you don't need 75. Yeah, so item level 50 plus for Rotting Claws Renewal. And then I did passive 8, so I only spend 7 points for 2 Jewel Sockets and 2 Notables. And I get the Rotting Claws, so we get the 100% Impale. And yeah, build sick. Oh yeah, now the next thing. So many things in this video. Because we're now a Carrion Golem build, we don't need the Mana Flask anymore. So we were able to switch the Mana Flask for a Jade Flask. Obviously, the rolls, the mods are shit. It's just temporary. I'm going to roll an actual Jade Flask or something. I might roll a Silver Flask. Also, I'm thinking about a Silver Flask because the Onslaught 20% move speed is really good because a Quicksilver has 40%, and then the mods on the Quicksilver at the highest tier, item level 100, tier 1, you can only roll 12 to 14% move speed, and so Onslaught 20 sounds absolutely insane. Just in like that on a baseline, it's like, well, they're making all these changes, so we got to recompare everything, and then that just seems to stand out of why are they nerfing the mod so heavily, but the other things are so flat. So 40% on the flask on its own, and 20% from the Onslaught. But then there's other ways to get Onslaught, but not really for our build. But anyway, here we go. So yeah, Jade Flask. It's pretty sick. Next change. So in our build, I was testing out those new Spectres, Demon Harpies, and I told everyone about the Demon Harpies, and everyone's doing 3 Demon Harpies and testing them out, and I can say that I'm already done testing. What are the results on the testing? I think you can see what I'm using now. You don't know what they are, but basically this is 1 Demon Harpy and 2 monkeys, and I have 2 Carnage Chieftains. And you will ask, but Ethan, why not 1 Carnage Chieftain? And you could, but I want to make sure that they have 3 frenzy charges, because the damage boost is like 3 frenzy charges can give 12% more damage, also 45% attack speed, and 15% move speed. And so when we see this node and it gives 3% attack speed, yeah, 3 frenzy charges is 45. This node, Spiritual Command, 8, yeah, frenzy charges, 45. And there's 12% more damage. And the move speed. So we really want those, and we have noticed that we have been missing frenzy charges for the last day or so. And so as soon as you add back in the frenzy charges with the 1 Demon Harpy, you will notice, and you will be like, Ethan, this is definitely the combo. Holy fuck. Because you're increasing your damage by like 60%. It's actually that insane. That's how good Carnage Chieftains are. Thank you, GGG, for doing this, where we could have this opportunity to experiment and feel out our own monkeys even more and understand how good they really are. God damn, it's sick. Yeah, so now I run the 2 monkeys, and you'll have actually more damage. And so it's not that the Harpy's bad, it's that the monkeys are so good, and that the Harpy, I think with just Spell Echo, we can get it to stack to the 20 possibly, and maybe 20 is the max, which is why we're not feeling like some infinite stacking. So maybe it was 20%, up to 20% more damage, and it wouldn't even be 20% more because it's increased damage, and we have a lot of other sources of increased damage which don't get multiplied. They're additional. So then, let's say this was 20% more. The frenzy charges with 2 of them are 60% more. So it's very clear that you want the Carnage Chieftains, whereas the power charges are like 10 to 20% more. It's nice, but it's not the frenzy charges. So if you had to choose. And then another thing, because of this, testing the new Spectre, because of GGG doing this new Spectre with the Demon Harpy, we tested out Spell Echo on this Demon Harpy to make it shoot its thing twice, right? Well, because I already had that in here, I tried it on my Chieftains because I thought, oh my god, why didn't I think of this before instead of Life Tap? So instead of doing their thing once, they do 2 frenzy charges now. And so we're getting 4 off 2. Instead of, and then in quicker, so then in boss fights, we have the burst frenzy charges because of the Spell Echo, which is just always better than the Life Tap then. They always keep up the frenzy charges now with this, the same as the Life Tap, but they also have the upside of burst in boss fights. They can get 4, which is why you use 2 instead of 1. For a boss fight, you go all the way instantly to 3, and you have extra area coverage for your minions. It's really, really, really sick. It's actually more powerful. We just got even better. our frenzy charges just got more consistent, our build's even better, and we're on Carrion Golems, and the Carrion Golems feel really good with the frenzy charges and all this. So then we also gained the Onslaught, so we have the 15 move speed from the from the frenzy charges back. We get the 50 move speed from the Ravenous Horde. We also have all this attack speed and scaling, and oh my god, because that's, think about it, the 12 here, the 20% attack speed here, we have the 45 from the frenzy charges. This is disgusting. I love it. I hope you guys do too. This is the new version of the build. It's absolutely sick. Like I said, phase run increased duration. I dropped the cast on death portal. We don't have Convocation right now. I probably put in Convocation for heisting. I'll swap out Flame Dash for Convocation for heisting, and then we're good to go. And because I don't think I need to Flame Dash in heist, potentially. What am I going to Flame Dash over? I just need a phase run around. Maybe Flame Dash for doorways. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it feels. But either way, this is huge upgrades, huge changes, and a lot of cool things I figured out today. And like I said, I'm probably going to run a Quicksilver instead to have that extra move speed, because the math checks out that it's actually like, as it's better than an item level 100 Quicksilver mod. What? And you can roll your own mods on it still. It's still its own flask. It's just the implicit. That's like it's half of the Quicksilver. And it has a little bit worse charges. It's 40 of 60, but maybe we can fix that with the reduced charges. Maybe it scales higher than it used to with the higher item levels. I'm not sure yet, because you can't get it down to 30 of 60 with the reduced in the past, but maybe they fixed it now. But either way, I don't know what items to Scourge yet, boys. I need to be more rich. We need to start farming some heists. I'm up to item level 81 contracts. We're farming that Awakener. We got that, oh my god, that Awakener Orb and that Awaken Swift Affliction basically funded the swap to the build. And then I obviously got some other drops, but those were the major, like, what the heck, on Awaken Orb, Hunter's Exalted Orb, and then I upgraded to Awaken Generosity off that shit. It was sick. Nice. Oh yeah, this is also important. There's so many things. So I'll first go, my 6th link for the Carrion Golem now is Carrion Golem, Awaken Brutality, Impale, Awaken Minion Damage, Multi-Strike, Awaken Melee Phys, and then the helmet. So I have the Minion Life, and what I did is the Zombie, Spectre, Spell Echo, and then Maim. So the helmet is not aggressive, and it's the charges, and it's Maim. That's it. And there's a billion sources for the Mim. Okay, so Helmet's really simple, and I like it a lot. I just drag them around, and then they Mim. 10% increased. Pretty simple. And actually, I added a jewel. I said I'd go over the jewels too. There's so much shit to this build. I have 2 jewels, right? 2 Abyss jewels. So one is Taunt Blind. So we're getting all of our attacks, zombies, Carrion Golems, is taunting and blinding. Maybe even the world. No, I think it's a spell. It's going to taunt and blind. And then I used this one that I did hinder on hit with spells for 30 move speed slow. So this is going to make the spell from the Spectre. Oh, fuck, I don't use it anymore. Oh, yeah, I do. I use one. Yeah. So one, I got confused for a sec, sorry. One Demon Harpy will have the hinder, and it hits multiple times, so this 8% chance will maybe work. Because let's say one of these Spectres can hit, like, 7 to 13 times. It may be able to hinder consistently, and it's AoE too, so it'll hit a lot of enemies. And then I also got attack speed on this. The reason I did attack speed is for some reason the minion damage when you use a minion skill recently is really expensive, but the attack speed with killing recently is not expensive, so I was able to get this for really cheap, and it's actually a really good jewel, so that's why I did that, to explain it. Things always fall through the cracks. I mention a bunch of shit, and then people only focus on specific shit that they may have seen in other builds. That the most, like, maybe the most popular stuff is what gets too overpriced, and then the things that didn't get mentioned enough slip through the cracks. I don't know, but a lot of upgrades, a lot of shit went through, and I'm really happy with the current state of the build, and it's actually stronger than the skeletons. Obviously I invested more into the build. It's a lot more thought because it's more time with the tree and just playing around and min-maxing. A lot of regret orbs I wasted, so you guys don't have to. Even though I know that your tree doesn't look like this, so and if you do change, you would use regrets. So it's our regret orbs. I know, guys, I know. Well, nice. Either way, let's take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all that support, and thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon or the YouTube members today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!